Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Tuesday, June 13, 2023. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. PPP wipes out APNU at LGE, wins majority votes in 7 of Guyana's 10 towns, says JAGDEO. APNU not worried about seats lost, inroads made by PPP at LGE 2023. New Georgetown Mayor, councillors to battle with city's climbing $600 million debt. Caribbean can be high-value market for honey, spices, coffee, barley, and more, Ali tells investors. 13-year-old crushed to death by reversing CANTER, and quarantine man found dead after argument with son. Now for the news in detail. The People's Progressive Party has won the majority votes in 7 of the country's 10 townships in a move which that party's General Secretary, Dr. JAGDEO, has described as a wipeout of the Partnership for National Unity. In our lead story tonight, Rupasina Ryan reports that JAGDEO told a press conference today that, based on the party's calculations, the PPP also won the popular vote in 66 of the 80 local authority areas at this year's local government polls.
Preliminary results from Monday's local government polls began being released via the Guyana Elections Commission GCOM website on Tuesday. They showed the PPP winning the majority votes in 66 of the 80 local authority areas, 4 of which are tied with the APNU in the division of seats. However, since the PPPC received the majority of votes cast, it is likely to assume chairmanship of the area based on convention. 14 local authority areas will be won by the PNC, a dip when compared to 23 it secured during the 2018 local government polls. At the press conference on Tuesday, General Secretary of the PPP Dr. JAGDEO said these are massive gains for the party.
That's a definition of a massive victory. That is how you define landslide. Not by winning a constituency in Georgetown that you've won historically for 60 years.
Meanwhile, the PPP has won the majority votes in 7 of the country's 10 townships in a move which JAGDEO has described as a wipeout of APNU. The party won the majority votes in Mabaruma, Anna Regina, Rose Hall, Corentynne, Lethem, Bartica, and Madhya. It also managed to secure more votes in PNC strongholds, New Amsterdam, Linden, and Georgetown.
The PPP's votes moved from 402 votes in Linden in 2018 to 2,464, over 500% increase in Linden. We have won in the city 5 of the 15 constituencies, up from 3 in 2018.
Meanwhile, the party has requested recounts in 4 areas where there was a slim win for the PNC and a significant number of spoiled ballots.
1 constituency in Georgetown, Pletanka, Cutbrat area in Berbice, Lauritrea, 2 boxes there, and Myconia Barry. And those should be completed today, hopefully.
Rupasina Ryan, the Evening News.
Despite having lost significant votes and, in some cases, council seats in some of its strongholds, leader of the Partnership for National Unity, Aubrey Norton, is claiming he is not worried about the results of this year's local government elections, nor of the prospects they hold for the national polls in 2025. Find out more in this Gerald Bryan report.
On Tuesday, opposition and PNC leader Aubrey Norton called a press conference where he discussed the party's performance at the 2023 local government elections. According to Norton, he is pleased with his party's performance and the way they were able to retain control of their strongholds, Georgetown, Linden, and New Amsterdam.
For us, this is a victory for the people of Guyana. The people of Guyana do not want a one-party state. The people of Guyana reject the PPP's attempt at domination and control. And so we see it as a victory not only for the APNU, but for the people of this country. It's It's a victory against domination and control.
But the results show that the PPPC has gained more seats than 2018 in the APNU strongholds. These include Georgetown, Linden, and New Amsterdam. Confirmed results from Linden show that APNU won 14 seats, while PPP won 2, both from the proportional representation list. When LGE was last held in 2018, PPP had won just 1 seat in Linden, while APNU won 13 and the Alliance for Change won 2. Preliminary results also suggest that PPP gained 12,265 votes in Georgetown. In 2018, PPP was only able to gain 6,813 votes in Georgetown. In New Amsterdam, preliminary results indicate that PPP won 3 more seats this year than they did in 2018. Meanwhile, both PPP and APNU tied for seats in Bartica and Madio, with the results to be decided from the plurality of votes. The PPP, based on the preliminaries, gained the majority votes in those towns. Norton was asked about the PPP's inroads in APNU strongholds. He was also asked about Vice President Barry JAGDEO's projections that the PPP would win more than 60 out of 80 local authority areas. According to Norton, however, the PNC is not deeply concerned about PPP inroads in its strongholds, nor the overall percentage of areas the PPP wins.
I wouldn't be worried. What we will do is take our time and ensure we continue to sensitize people so that by the next election they will diminish further. I will check the data, but for now, I don't think that that is the issue. What JAGDEO is seeking to do is to shift the goalposts. Remember, he set the goalposts. We're going to beat the APNU in Linden. We're going to beat them in Georgetown. We're going to beat them in New Amsterdam. When you get blows, you now start talking about 65 versus 85. We said from the inception that we weren't contesting in many areas. And therefore, for him to come with that is clearly disingenuous. So again, I'm not worried.
Norton said the results of the LGE are not indicative of what could come at the polls in 2025, since the APNU will be contested nationally at the general and regional elections. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
Local observers on Monday reported minimal anomalies during the local government elections process, crediting this improvement to the well-trained staff of the Guyana Elections Commission, GCOM. Rupasine Ryan tells us more.
A total of 10 local observer groups were accredited this year to provide oversight on the local government elections 2023. 2 of them, the Private Sector Commission and the American Chamber of Commerce, established a command center to monitor the happenings across the country, where information was being fed from observers on the ground.
Our agents, our observers of the private sector, we're spread throughout the country. We have agents from Region 2 all the way to Region 9. Region 6 as well. We're trying to cover all the administrative regions of the country. We want to be able to have a full overview of everything that's taking place. As indicated, our observers are out in the fields, they're visiting various polling stations, they're looking for any anomalies that are taking place in the process.
The idea was to have a full overview of what was taking place and real-time monitoring of all developments. At the end, a report would be curated and presented, documenting what transpired. According to the PSC, the GCOM staffers were au fait with all the necessary procedures to ensure a seamless flow.
We found that the staff of GCOM, they're very knowledgeable of the process. They're following the process to the T. If there is any discrepancy, the presiding officer is taking control of that. And at the end of the day, we've had no significant reports.
There are a number of criteria that groups wishing to observe elections must follow. Among them is familiarity and experience with electoral laws and processes. Groups were required to have previous experience in election monitoring and be able to maintain impartiality while conducting their duties. Rupasine Ryan, The Evening News.
As Pandit Obraj Narayan approaches the end of his tenure as the mayor of Georgetown, he leaves behind a debt of about $600 million for the incumbent city council to tackle. Pooja Rambaran reports that the new city council is soon expected to be known and subsequently sworn in, after which it would face the uphill task of managing the country's heavily indebted capital.
During a press conference on Tuesday, outgoing Georgetown Mayor Ubraj Narain shared that he's worked to reduce the amount of monies the city council owes to various organizations, but the number still stands tall.
When I took office, NIS was 500 and something million owed to NIS since 1992. It is 300 and something million now. It is paid. When I took office, credit union was over 100 and something million. The staff can benefit from credit union now. When I took office, the garbage contract was 35 million a month. I negotiated that contract and bring it down to 15 million. Then we bid and it was 13 million a month. This council had worked for the interest of both administration and the citizen.
On the other hand, he disclosed that the City Council is owed about $13 billion by a number of parties, including Guyana Power and Light and the Guyana Revenue Authority.
The City Council owed GPL 3 billion, but GPL owed the City Council 10 billion. Why we don't do a setup? I had meeting with GPL 3 times and nothing comes out of it. The pool on the park, the reserve, GPL pays us zero. They're supposed to pay us $25 for a pool on the reserve. We get zero. GRA uses entire Lamaha railway embankment for parking and put up buildings. They pay the council zero. They use the council reserve in front of them for parking. They pay the council zero. If we get our monies in, the council will be able to function, the council will be able to do much more in the city.
With the results of the local government polls expected to be known before the week is over, Mayor Narain shared that the City Council is prepared to receive a new mayor to handle these and other challenges.
The transition is prepared. I'm ready to demit the office of the mayor. I'm ready to welcome the new mayor so that the progress of the city, the fight of the city can continue with the new council.
Georgetown has traditionally been dominated by a PNC-led APNU leadership. At this year's polls, the PPP, which forms the governing administration, was hoping to increase its representation on the council so that central and local government plans can align. From preliminary results, however, APNU is projected to reclaim the city, but the PPP has made significant inroads. Pooja Rambran for the Evening News.
In other news, the Caribbean region must continue to position itself as a high-value, specialized market, and with the right investments, it can become a regional food hub with extensive reach as far as North America. This was the message delivered by Guyana's President, Dr. Irfan Ali, at a virtual Caribbean Agri-Food Investors Conference today. Here is Pooja Rambran again with the details.
Speaking to the investors, President Dr. Irfan Ali posited that the goal is to develop a highly integrated food production system, wherein the Caribbean can be positioned as a high-value specialized market. He said this is achievable because of the region's scale, location, and other competitive advantages when it comes to agriculture.
Whether we're talking about honey, spices, aquaculture, cocoa, coffee, barley, corn, soya, fresh fruits and vegetables, high-value fruits and vegetables. So how do we create the ecosystem and how do we create the framework to enable the positioning of the Caribbean market, the CARICOM market, as a high-value specialized market?
In fact, he said Guyana alone has enough land to produce enough barley to satisfy the entire regional demand and can also be exported to North America. However, he noted that the critical issue that needs addressing is the regional transport and logistics sector. President Ali explained that in order to transform this part of the hemisphere into a regional food hub, there needs to be a better network for the movement of goods. He said opportunities exist in northern Brazil, which can connect to Guyana and move further into the Caribbean region and then into North America. Such a network, he explained, can save significantly on time and money.
If that transportation ecosystem, logistics, and regional food hub is invested into with the right technology, the right facilities, the right sanitation, sanitary facilities, as against what exists now is that either very, very strong production go to waste in northern Brazil, or if it has to come back to the north market and come down back through the system to the Caribbean, in their existing transport and logistics system, you're talking close to 3 weeks, 21 days, versus 72 hours.
Another factor that has to be considered in building out such an ecosystem, the President noted, is the need for storage facilities in order to reduce post-harvest losses. Moreover, he said that the issue of cost of energy has to be addressed, but the President assured that investments are being made in this regard. Pooja Rembrandt for the Evening News.
Coming up, 13-year-old crushed to death by reversing CANTER, and Seek Help. Patients share how physical rehabilitation changed their lives. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Look out! The Oreos belong to us.
No, they belong to whoever finds them first.
Get your Oreo Transformers Limited Edition and awaken the beast.
If you want real energy, just send on if you got on two. Good source of iron for me and for you. Make you feel like say you have energy for two. When you make a mad flex with you and your cool work late, I left the gym after two. Vigatan tonic a the remedy for some man for sue. So send on if you got on two. Vigatan. From your new energy you a defend. Just send on if you got on 10. Chunk up your body, drink and come again. Vigatan 2 are the remedy, my friend.
Vigatan 2, good source of vitamin and iron for you.
Optic offers great patient care that is tailored for my entire family.
At Optic, a wide selection of affordable optical frames and optical services are available to fit your budget.
At Optic, my family is provided with comprehensive eye examination and access to the ophthalmology services, all under one roof.
Optic takes pride in delivering exceptional customer service and a unique experience to you, our customers.
Optic Vision Care is a company that is Guyanese born and grown that will help you take care of your precious eyes.
Sally's Boutique is the place to shop when looking for quality high-end men and women footwear, wristwear, wallets, and clothing. Follow us on Instagram, Sally's Boutique GY. We're located at Charlotte Street between Camp and Wellington Streets. Contact us on 231-7519. That's 231-7519. WhatsApp 613-9578. That's 613-9578. Sally's Boutique, the new home of Clark's.
Look out! The Oreos belong to us.
No, they belong to whoever finds them first.
Get your Oreo Transformers Limited Edition and awaken the beast.
Play virtual blackjack for an exclusive gaming experience. Do you have what it takes to beat the dealer? Visit www.superbet.gy and check out all the different bet types. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly. Superbet, your best.
Isuzu D-Max, built to work. Whether it's mining, construction, agriculture, or just adventure, Isuzu D-Max does the job. Put it to the test. Isuzu D-Max, engineered to keep every promise. Marex is the authorized dealer for all Isuzu products. Marex, telephone 226-14821 and 226-1306.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. A 13-year-old lad was on Monday crushed to death by a reversing canter at Adventure, Essequibo Coast. Dead is Rovid Mark Williams of Onderneming, Essequibo Coast. Reports are that the boy was standing in the tray of the canter, and as it was reversing, he fell out. The driver reportedly continued reversing, crushing the child in the process. The lad was rushed to the Suddy Hospital, where he died while receiving treatment. The Evening News understands that the boy suffered a fractured skull and was bleeding through his nose and vomiting blood. The driver has since been arrested. Meanwhile, 2 men are now dead following an accident which occurred along the Long Creek Public Road, Susac Linden Highway on Monday night. Dead are 22-year-old Shazir Mohammed, the driver of a motorcycle, and 26-year-old Ryan Budan, the pillion rider at the time of the accident. Both were residents of Long Creek Red Road, Susac Linden Highway. Police have said the motorcycle was proceeding south along the eastern side of the road, and motorcar PAD 283 was proceeding in the said direction some distance behind. The driver of the motorcar is alleging that the motorcycle, which had no rear lights, suddenly swerved west. On seeing this, the driver said he applied brakes, but because of the short distance, the motorcar came into contact with the rear of the motorcycle, and as a result of the collision, the motorcyclist and the pillion rider fell on the road surface. They were picked up in unconscious condition and taken to the Linden Hospital complex, where they were both pronounced dead on arrival. The driver of the motorcar was breathalyzed, but no trace of alcohol was found in his breath. He nevertheless remains in custody, assisting with the investigation. Our Berbice correspondent, Andrew Carmichael, joins us now to report that police are investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of a Corentynne fisherman whose body was found in his yard shortly after an argument with his son. Here is more.
The dead man has been identified as 57-year-old Ramesh Peters, a fisherman of Letterkenny Village, Corentynne, Berbice. The discovery was made on Monday at about 19:30 hours. Police stated that the now dead man and his 29-year-old son were involved in a heated argument in front of the yard. However, the man walked away, leaving his son on the street. In a statement, the police said that neighbors reportedly heard a commotion, and upon checking, they saw the man lying on his back with injuries to the left side of his head. A piece of wood was seen close to him. The injured man was picked up in an unconscious state and taken to the Port Morant Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The fisherman's daughter, Pamela Peters, said the argument between her brother and father stemmed from an allegation made by her sister-in-law. Peters explained that her father took his daughter-in-law's side, which angered his 29-year-old son.
My father turned and tell my brother that left the girl, I gonna bring the girl out upon the street and you gonna have your wife. So now he turned and he said, "Bye, go along your way, go along your way." So now I tell my father, I say, "Daddy, you get age about now. Now not time for you for take on your children them worries. Say come inside the yard and stop fret behind the by." And when my father come in, the daughter was right here. When my father come inside the yard, me holler for my father, and my father tell me say, "Go and hold on from the post underneath the shed." And all of a sudden, I see that the shed loose off with the post loose off with my father underneath the shed, and my father fall on the ground. By the time he came me for a cup of water, and I carry the cup of water, my father don't lie down on the ground.
The woman said there were no physical contact between her father and brother.
My brother did not lash my father. They did not argue or touch each other more than they argue on the street. Because my brother not enter this yard here and come in, that me can say he rushed to my father. He there outside and he there argue that he want his wife.
So father just collapsed.
And my father come inside the yard because my father not go out there to say that he want to lash his son too. All he just tell you that, me gonna bring out your wife. Me gonna bring out your wife. You gonna get your wife. But just because the argument, my father said that he can do his wife anything, he end up and he keep it that in the yard and he tell he said, "Bye, don't come inside the yard." And by he fret and fret, I don't know if he hard take he or what, but all he just fret a little bit and he come and he hold on from that post and he turn and he tell me, say, "Pam, bring a cup of water and give your daddy." And I say, "Sorry, daddy, I'm going to bring the water." And I hold my small child inside my hand and I rush with the water for go give you. By the time I reach, my father don't lie down on the ground.
For the Evening News, Andrew Carmichael.
A miner of Goshen Village, Bartica, Essequibo River, Region 7, was on Sunday killed at Quartz Zone, Bagdam, after the mining pit in which he was working collapsed. Dead is 28-year-old O'Neill Richardson. Police have said that on the day in question, at about 13 hours, the late O'Neill's cousin and an associate made checks for him, but only found his detector partially buried, without him in sight. He was reportedly self-employed as a detector in search of gold. Suspecting the worst, they began digging and later found the motionless body of the victim beneath a heap of loam. The body was removed and the police were notified. Upon arriving at the scene, the police found the man's body lying above an old dugout pit next to a wall of sand that appeared to have collapsed. His body was transported to the Bartica Regional Mortuary and then to the Memorial Gardens Funeral Parlor, where a post-mortem will be conducted. Police are investigating the incident. We now tell you that the body of 36-year-old Nakima Dimitri Dionot, the son of the owners of Nisha's Flowerland, was on Monday found in his Regent and Cummings Street's Georgetown apartment. The body was discovered by his father, who immediately raised an alarm. The police were contacted and an investigation has been launched. Investigators are reportedly working on the theory that the man might have been strangled to death, since there was a mark around his neck. Dionot reportedly lived on the top floor of the three-story building, which also has an electronics store on the ground floor and a storage facility on the second. Meanwhile, the father was taken into custody. Loana McAllister joins us now to report the two patients who have benefited from the services of the Disability and Rehabilitation Department of the Health Ministry recently took to the stage and testified how seeking help in this regard improved their lives significantly. Here is this story.
To mark the start of Rehab Week 2023, National volleyball player Crystal Shepard and beneficiary of the National Hearing Aid Program, Nikita Brown, shared testimonials of how rehab changed their lives. According to Christoph, with the help of therapists and his own determination, he was able to achieve many of his goals.
In 2022, I suffered a major brain injury, and therapy has done a lot for me. I set goals and work towards them, and the goal we set is in August. By August, they want me to run 100 meters in less than a minute. Well, I'm proud to say that it was May, and I ran 2 100 meters, one in 30 seconds and one in 28 seconds. So the next goal is just take it light, and they want me to resume, let's say, play or be able to play an effective game by December. And I am pretty sure that I will work on that goal and I will keep pushing.
Meanwhile, Brown shared that growing up, she was ashamed of her hearing disability for many years, but having benefited from the government's hearing aid program, her life changed significantly.
At the age of 5 years old, I was in a car accident, which the impact resulted in me having a splinter jawbone. I began having severe headaches and earaches soon after. I was taken to the ear doctor, who indicated my eardrum was affected. Over the years, I began losing my hearing in my right ear. Going to school and college, sitting in the classroom, trying to listen to the teacher has been a struggle. As I got older, my hearing became worse and affected both my ear. A lot of the times, my sister would have to accompany me to important places like the bank or the hospital just so she can listen to hear and tell me what is being said. It was during the pandemic, the COVID pandemic, that my hearing, when you had to wear, and it's compulsory for you to wear masks. I couldn't read lips, obviously, so I reached out to Dr. Quapo, and she told me that both my ears are bad and recommended hearing aids. At the time, I could not afford it, and she said she's going to put me on a list because they have outreaches. I'm very grateful that I was successful in the list, and I received my hearing aid last year. My life has changed significantly since then. I'm now able to attend training seminars at my job. I can attend meetings and I can return to school.
Meanwhile, the director of the Rehabilitation Services, Arian Mangar, highlighted that the Ministry of Health has made significant progress in getting these services to all parts of the country. There are now 10 occupational therapists, 9 speech and language therapists, and 51 sociotherapists. The department is also now supported by 3 doctors and a physiatrist. Rehab Week was launched under the theme Diversifying, Expanding Coverage, and Optimizing Care for All Through Rehabilitation. Lawanda McAllister, The Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbor Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Wednesday, June 14th at 1:30 for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Wednesday, June 14th at 13:55 for a period of 1.5 hours.
CPL SLK partner for U19 T20 tournament in St. Lucia, and Golden Jaguars names 23-man squad for Gold Cup prelims. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles.
Look out! The Oreos belong to us.
No, they belong to whoever finds them first.
Get your Oreo Transformers Limited Edition and awaken the beast.
Miners, welders, and contractors. Have broken parts caused you tremendous downtime? Do you need an extra heavy-duty, dependable welding machine that will get the toughest jobs done and can also double as a generator to power all of your tools? Well, your #1 industrial solutions provider Sylvies has you covered. We currently have in stock the Hobart Champion Elite Arc Welder and Generator. This capable electric start generator produces up to 11,000 watts of AC power to run tools, work lights, or backup power during an outage. It can simultaneously deliver 150 amps weld output and 8,000 watts of generator power, and can run up to 14 hours on one 12-gallon tank of gas. This portable generator handles mild steel, stainless steel, and cast iron with a maximum thickness of ½ inch in a single pass. So what are you waiting for? If you can't make it our 31 High and Hatfield Streets Georgetown location, we can deliver. Give us a call on 227-6226 or WhatsApp us on 623-7755 or visit our website sylviesonline.com. Sylvies Industrial Solution, proudly serving Guyana for over 4 decades.